In this video, we're going to talk about C tuning. Now, this is when we take a standard tune guitar, it's usually tuned to E, A, D, G, B, E, and we move it down 4 frets, essentially. So we're going from E down to C. Okay, so just to be clear, this isn't drop C tuning. That's when you would just tune down, like the top string, or drop D tuning where you just tune down, like the 6th string. This is actual C tuning where we've detuned the whole guitar 4 frets to go from E down to C. And it sounds quite different. Check it out. You can hear how much lower the guitar sounds. It almost sounds like a bass guitar or a baritone guitar. To me, the fun of this tuning, it's when you're all down in that lower register. Because as soon as you start playing stuff up here, I feel like you could be playing in normal tuning, like the fun of this is kind of down here. Or at least when you're playing the more bassy notes of the guitar. Okay, a couple of things to point out. Number one, I'm playing on a Fender Mustang, which is a really weird guitar that I bought a few years ago that I never really play because I hate it. It's got this really weird bridge that sticks up super high, and that kind of goes in the way. Also, it's got these wild pickups, which I don't really understand exactly how they work, except right now they're in phase and you can move them out of phase to get a slightly quacky tone. Also, it's a slightly shorter scale length on the neck, and it's kind of a guitar that looks cool, but I don't really enjoy playing, so it tends to be around the studio and it doesn't get used that much. So what I thought I could do is put is tune this guitar down to C, to make it a guitar that I'll pick up a bit more often. Because if it's just in standard tuning, then I'll probably just use one of my other guitars that's here that I prefer to play. Alright, another point to make. I've put 12 gauge strings on this guitar. So I normally play 9s or 10s, but on this guitar I've put 12 gauge strings on, which are thicker strings, and they work better when you're going to detune your guitar down. It just makes the tension of the strings feel more right to me, more like they would feel if we were playing in standard tuning. Okay, so a couple of caveats there. I'm playing on this weird, like, oddball guitar, and I've got 12 gauge strings on the guitar. But you can do C tuning in any guitar. I just happen to have done it this way on this guitar. Okay, so let's see how this sounds if we just put together a brief jam, and we're playing here in C, and you can just hear some of the different sort of unusual tones. I've put the pickups on this guitar out of phase, so they sound a bit quacky, which makes it sound a bit weird, which I quite like. Okay, let's give this a try. Okay, a couple of weird things about that particular sound to me is that I think you can instantly hear that you might be playing chords that you're familiar with. So, for example, I'm playing a B minor chord. That was the chord that I was playing there. I just take off that reverb, which sounded a bit nasty, actually. So I'm playing there what I perceive to be a B minor chord. Yeah, I'm holding the guitar, I'm playing on the 7th fret. But of course, the sound that's being created isn't actually B minor. It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually a G minor sound. So that's what you're hearing. So your ears are hearing a G minor chord in a voicing that you can never actually hear, with standard tuning. And that's what's so interesting, I think, about when you move down to this lower tuning range. You're hearing chord voicings that are different. And sure, like mathematically, like, the chords, the frequencies of the notes that you're hearing are the same, but they're voiced differently because they're coming from a different part of the guitar. It's very cool, I think. Also, the other weird thing about this particular guitar, sorry to keep digressing on my Fender Mustang rant, but this is a weird guitar, is it never actually goes silent. Right, somebody tell me why this is. I'm using a noise gate here so it doesn't buzz and really annoy you. If I turn the noise gate off, the guitar buzzes like crazy. Yeah? Fair enough, I've got the volume turned up. That happens on most guitars. If I turn the volume down, it doesn't go silent. And even though the volume's down on the guitar, it can still play. Like, this is wild, and I don't understand how this happens. Let me put the noise gate back on. Like, can someone please explain why does a Fender Mustang still make sound when the volume's turned down? And not just like the buzz, you know, of the output of the pickup, but like actual notes. I've never known that before on any other guitar. The volume's down, it's off, it should be quiet. But not only does it buzz, but I can also play chords. And it comes through the amp. If anybody knows the answer to this, please put it in the comments, because it's really irritating me. It's like, I need to know the answer to this. Okay, super quick. I always forget to say this. If you enjoy what we do here, head over to the website, nationalguitaracademy.com. There's hundreds of free guitar lessons on there, videos, song sheets, song tutorials, chord tutorials, everything you could possibly want to become a better guitarist. Head over there and check it out, nationalguitaracademy.com. Okay, so we've spoken about C tuning. What else do I need to tell you? Right, we wanted to cover like what it is, and also, you know, how to do it and when to use it. Essentially, that's what we're trying to do in this video. So, of course, to do it, we just need to tune the guitar down, those 4 steps. Please, when you're doing that, make sure that you use a tuner. You know, I prefer the vibration-based tuners, as you guys know. They just rock. I really like them. Yeah, one of the issues when you tune down significantly like that, you know, going from E, not just down to D, but down to C, is that it really changes the tension that's on the neck of the guitar. So that it can make it a bit fiddly to tune the guitar in. You might have to kind of stretch the strings out a bit. It can just be a bit fiddly to do. So that's why I like to use the vibration-based tuners, just because they're accurate and easy. And then once you've got it settled in that tuning, you're in business. But what will happen is if you tune down to it and just leave it, it will quickly go out of tune. So I think you need to tune down to it, stretch the strings a bit, and then you'll need to tune up again, stretch the strings a bit and tune up again. And then you should get some tuning stability. Okay, when would you use C tuning? For me, there's a couple of times when you would use it. Number one, it can be a really great way to add secondary guitar to any piece of music that you're composing or producing. The benefit of having those different notes is that it can fill out the mix, it can make things more interesting. You can just add pieces in the background that just complement certain phrases. Also, from a composition point of view, you come up with different stuff when you're playing in different tuning. Different things sound more interesting to you. Essentially what happens, this is how you should think about it. When you tune down your guitar like that, you know, to D or to C, it's like you're adding extra frets onto the guitar. So not only is it giving you more range, like, you know, just in terms of sonic range as a musician, but also it's giving you more options from a composition point of view. Now, I often tune down to D, or I'll sometimes just tune down a half step just to make songs easier to sing. But tuning down to C is kind of a drastic thing to do. You know, it really changes the tone of the guitar. Some people don't like it. It goes a bit too deep. But that's why I think it's useful to do if you have like an extra guitar around. You know, maybe one that you don't play as much. It can just give you another tool in your locker as a musician, you know, whether you're a composer or just a guitarist. Basically, whatever you're trying to do, it's giving you more range and options as a musician, and that's always a good thing. Okay, that's all I've got for you today, folks. As you can tell, I hate Fender Mustangs very much, although I actually like this one a little bit more. Now it's in C tuning. I am picking it up and playing it more here in the studio, and actually, it is great fun. Yeah, somebody tell me the answer to that thing with the pickups. It's annoying me that. And also, does anybody have any tips for how to play a Mustang with this weird bridge? Like, is there any tips that anybody can give for how to play that without that really getting in your way? I don't know, I guess just to change the bridge, isn't it, to a different type, but then it's probably still not a Fender Mustang. I don't know. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Sorry we haven't posted anything for a while, but we are going to start trying to be a bit more regular from now on. If you like this video, you've picked up some new ideas, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.